have an honoree recognized, and George started this process many months ago. And so he's the one that deserves credit for making this happen. He corresponded with Mr. Cheney many times, gathered all the necessary information and paperwork and all of the many things that have to be accomplished to make this happen. So tragically, George passed away back in October. So we're kind of honoring him with a t-shirt and a picture and a hat here. So thank you, George, for the work that you did.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. My name is Jim Cheney. I do work for the FAA. Okay, nobody's going to jump up and go lock their hangers? The first time I did one of these, that's what happened. You know, I was with another inspector, and I announced I worked for the FAA, and 90% of people got up and left. I said, man, I didn't think my jokes were that bad. I said, where are they going? Oh, they'll be back. They're just going to lock their hangers. That was 10 years ago. So the FAA's changed now. We're not the Gestapo anymore. I love my job. I got this position about 5.5 years ago. I've been with the FAA for 10.5 years. Was an inspector and principal operations inspector for 5 years. I loved it. I love this. I will never retire as long as I can do this, and that's no joke. I'm 69 years old. People keep asking me, when are you going to retire? Why? There's no sense in I can do this from a wheelchair if I need to. But I enjoy it, and will continue to do it. As a matter of fact, I think I'll be back in about 3 weeks or something with David and his wife and a couple of another award to give out. But we do a lot of these, but not enough of them. The shutdown really caused a lot of havoc with these awards because I work, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I work from home, and I have a large bedroom that I have my office in, and I've got these everywhere around the room in stacks, trying to figure out who goes where because I've lost touch with them, because this was one of the things on our list of you cannot do awards. You can't do anything that is required to put together an award. So they all just sat there. Delta got a little upset because I had 30 of theirs that couldn't get done. But anyway, we're trying to get on. I had two stacks of 4, and one of the recipients was a HAYES, a Francis Hayes and a Richard Hayes. So I had to call Mike, which HAYES am I doing? But we have some up here that some people may not know they're getting today. They've already submitted the paperwork, but we've got them in here too. That's why everything is upside down and you can't see what they look like. So let me get on here. We'll start the show now. I don't need to tell you that. You already know my name. If you know anybody that wants one of these awards, that qualifies for one of these awards, 50 years, and we'll go over that. My business card is up there. Please come up and get one. Pilots are way too humble when they get older, and they don't want to be recognized unless they're Delta pilots.
Ow.
I've got stories. We can't tell that story. Okay, let's see if we can get this working. Not working. Okay, there we go. I can't do these yet. I've got to tell you my jokes. It seems I like to make people laugh. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I have to laugh at myself. I have a really good airplane joke. but it might be over your head.
Oh, boy.
I threw my phone from the roof and it broke, and when I picked it up, I had noticed I didn't have it on airplane mode. Who invented the first airplane that wouldn't fly? Everybody should know this.
What?
Who invented the first airplane that didn't fly?
The FAA?
No. We come there to make sure he does fly. The wrong brothers. I'll keep my day job. Today we have 4 distinguished airmen among us. They've been piloting for over 50 years. They have no revocations of their pilot certificates. They keep changing the requirements for this award. It used to be no incidents, no accidents. Then the FAA understood with complaints from people like me, we're human beings. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have accidents. Hopefully nobody ever does, but it's called the human error. And so they went back and said, well, yeah, that's true. If it wasn't bad enough to lose your certificate, then it must not have been too bad. So let's take that out of there and add in revocations. So you can't have a revocation. And I'll tell you a quick story about a person that had a revocation that had been flying, and a few of you know who it is, that had been flying forever. And he, in his younger years, he was a repo guy for airplanes. And he went to repo a jet. He had all the paperwork in his hands. When he landed at the airport he was going to, he was arrested for grand theft because the paperwork was incorrect. And the FAA pulled his ATP certificate, and that screwed him over on the award. I fought with the people in Washington to get this guy an award because he's been working for the FAA for 40 years and has done more for safety in aviation than a lot of us put together. And he didn't get his award. But it is what it is. The rules are there. We do a lot of Vietnam era veteran Wright Brothers Master Pilot Awards. I do whatever I can do to make sure they get that award, because that's one group of men that deserve this award if they flew combat, especially in Vietnam. Okay, our honorees today, I'm just going to call your name, you don't have to get up yet, is Francis Anthony Hayes, James Christopher Tatum. Is James back? Did we find James? Okay, yeah, he was playing hooky there in a couple of minutes. Michael Dean Stewart, I think it was Stewart that was missing. Is he here?
I'm here.
Okay, all right. And James Lee Rinehart. These gentlemen have so many hours between each other. We're not going to sit here. We'll be here till next month going over what they're rated in and how many hours they have. So we're just going to talk about their solo times. Francis Hayes soloed August 1st, 1955. That's a lot of flying after that. Okay. James Tatum soloed November 28th, 1974.
On his birthday.
Michael Stewart. To do what? What did I say?
On his birthday.
On his birthday, okay. I missed that. Should we sing happy birthday? Okay. And then Michael Stewart was October 19th, 1972. That wasn't your birthday, right?
No.
Okay. And James Rinehart soloed March 18th, 1967. And I have no clue why that's in there. Let's go further. Normally what we would do is watch a video, a 15-minute and 15-second video, and unless you have a fast watch and it's 15 minutes and 16 seconds. But about the Wright brothers, and we're actually redoing the video. We tried to invite Orville and Wilbur, but they didn't answer our letters. So I don't think it's going to be that updated. We'll still use their old pictures. But hopefully, the next time that we're able to do one of these, we'll have that video and show it. It just talks more about what they had to go through to come up with an airplane that actually flies and will actually turn. And then, of course, the propellers are what their original engineering design was the first propeller that created propulsion. And then, of course, you have Charles Taylor in the Master Mechanic Award, which Charles Taylor was the mechanic that built the first engine, airplane engine, in 6 to 8 weeks by hand in a lathe. And it's just hard to understand. I am a 17-year retired BMW master technician, and I couldn't understand how somebody could be that smart or that genius, you know, and they were not engineers. They were self-trained, you know, so they were geniuses to have it. But they talk about that, and it's pretty good video. Let's see. So let's get on with this. Let's, you see everybody, I've got everything turned over here so nobody could see who would get these awards, because I was told a couple of guys don't know about it, but now they know about it. But let's get Mr. Francis Hayes up here first. And he was actually given his Francis Hayes? Yes. Yeah, come on up here. He was given his plaque so he could get it on his birthday. But see, the award is not official until an FAA manager presents it to him. Okay, and this is not the award. This is just the plaque. The certificate is the official piece of material that he has to get his name put online in the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Roll of Honor list, which will be there now after today within 30 days. So you can look for it there. Okay, you've already gotten this. Oh yeah, we're gonna go with this. Or why are you sweating? These are his records. He says, "Do you have all the records?" I said, "I have every one of them." I have. This was his student pilot certificate.
Wow.
He didn't know I had that. Everything that he's done with the FAA is in here. And it's been certified with the blue ribbon and the seal. This is gonna bring back some good memories for you. You know what? I didn't find any dust or dirt in here.
Jim, let us get pictures. Jim,
Okay,
let us get pictures before he sits down.
Okay.
Go, Dad.
Now, I do have a letter, and I want to do the first one. It's actually not addressed to him. It's addressed posthumously to Mrs. Catherine Hayes, who's passed away. And I asked him earlier if he would like me to announce this, and he gave me the okay. And it states, "Dear Mrs. Catherine Hayes, it is with great honors that the FAA posthumously presents this letter to Catherine Hayes, wife of Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award recipient Francis Anthony Hayes. The Federal Aviation Administration Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award is given to FAA certificated pilots in recognition of 50 years of safe aviation pilotage and operations within the United States National Airspace System. We also understand that it requires the dedication and support of a very special spouse for that to happen. As a token of appreciation for your sacrifice and commitment in support of your husband's 50-year plus dedicated safe flight within our United States National Airspace System, the Federal Aviation Administration would like to present you with the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award Spouse Recognition Pin. Thank you for all your support, and signed by myself, a Fasting Program Manager, Atlanta Flight Standards Office, Atlanta, Georgia. And that's what it looks like. And then we have the same letter for him, but it's just worded differently. And the government is really falling back on their paper. They won't stick in here like they're supposed to. And I'll go ahead and read it and dispense with reading the exact same letter from the other three recipients. And it's addressed to him. The FAA's mission is to provide the safest, most efficient aerospace system in the world. We use many tools to make this happen, including recognizing the individual people that have helped to make our airspace system great. We recognize great pilots by honoring them with the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. The Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award is presented to those airmen who have 50 years or more of practicing and promoting safe aircraft flight. The Atlanta Flight Standards Office is proud to present you with the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award. Your professionalism as an airman has contributed to the safety of our national airspace system and has enabled safe air travel by many Americans for more than half a century of flight. Today you will receive the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award pin, a certified blue ribbon package containing a copy of your FAA airman records, your award certificate, and a decorative plaque. Congratulations on a very successful aviation career, and I've signed it as the program manager from the FAA. This is the bread and butter. This is your certificate. And I think I've got 2 of them in there. And don't ask me why, but there are 2. Yep. Now it's official. Okay. One more handshake, and we'll turn it around. We'll show everybody. Do you have anything you want to fill everything? You get 5 minutes, and I'm shutting the mic off.
This is very impressive. I'm almost at tears.
And that's okay.
I've never been so happy in my life.
Outstanding.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Just
Very
very
good.
better. I know you came here for a show. I'm gonna give you a show.
Oh, we have one more thing. I can't forget your pen. I give you a pen. Can everybody see that? Big picture?
Good to go. That's my fantastic son's letter.
Okay, we're just gonna go in, no, not necessarily any order. James Christopher Tatum. Come on down.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Really the FAA has, and recently, I know we hadn't done this for very long by recognizing the spouses of the pilots. Now, guys that are pilots have been pilots for a long time, you have to admit it, if it weren't for your spouse, you wouldn't be sitting here today. You know, and that's the truth, period. And, this one is the same, but it's not posthumously, okay, because she's here. Okay? So, I'm gonna give this to you first, okay, and we really appreciate it very
Thank
much,
you.
okay?
Thank
And thank you for keeping him in line.
Thank you. It's
Okay.
been a chore.
Okay.
Sure.
And we're gonna start off with his plaque. Thank you very much. Okay, don't go nowhere. And James gets the same letter and signed by an FAA manager. And we appreciate it again, all your safe flying, your dedication to aviation safety. And the official certificate. Now it's ready to hang on the wall. Congratulations. And we put together an award for his father before he passed away. In 2020. And he was telling me, you know, could you rush this? Because, you know, he's not doing too good. And we did everything that we could to make sure that he got this award before he passed away. That was an honor. Thank you. Now I gotta talk to you about your records, You know, I looked all the way through this thing, and I couldn't find anything bad in here.
The weights are off.
Yeah, everything. The weights are off.
Yeah.
Well, this is a copy of his records. Now, let me tell you about these records. His is easy. It wasn't very difficult at all. I received one of these that was 3,000 pages. It came to me in 2 printer's paper cases, boxes. And you know, I have to read through every one of these things. You know, 98% of it was medical. I hope he's not flying anymore. There you go. You want to put that back over here? We'll drop that one. And I also leave I give them their your award application. This is Francis. This is your award application. I usually give them to you because then you can read the nasty things on the letters of recommendation that your friends wrote. There you go. Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chris, bring mine back. Chris, bring mine back. Bring that, yeah. Thank you.
And this is a box. Pen. Oh man, I forgot your pen. Carry it away here. James Lee Rinehart. Right, he's the house.
Sorry.
And Earl Rinehart. Come on down. It's all right, the FAA can't do anything to you. Yes. Mrs. Rinehart also gets the same letter with a pin. Your pilot, my brother's back to pilot war. Thank you for your dedication. And we know he would. That's right. Yeah, I know. I don't want to give you that. And he also gets the same type of letter that is signed by an FAA manager, just stating that we appreciate all your dedication, being safe, and we won't talk about this stuff. There's his plaque, it's a beautiful plaque.
Yes, it is.
But all yours, my friend. All
Thank
yours.
you. Thank you.
Okay, hold it up there. So. This is his plaque. Okay, let's find where these records are. Here we are. These records actually come from Oklahoma City, the FISDO there. And that's why it takes so long to put these awards together, because we have to wait on Oklahoma City. And then to get the certificate, we have to wait on Washington DC. And then to get the plaque, we have to wait on a trophy company out west of here. You started off with your commercial pilot? Were you in the military?
I was a military.
Thank you for your service. If you're a pilot in the military, then you can do a comp and get, instead of going and getting a private pilot certificate and instrument, you usually get your commercial with instrument just by taking a test. And that's good. Your records are clean, my friend. I was just joking. You're over here sweating. Let me put it in order.
Thank you.
Now, the official, I've got a pin here for you too. Again, it looks just like the other ones, but it's got his name on it this time. We appreciate all the safety
You're
and
welcome.
dedication that you have.
Thank you.
Do you want to hold that up for David? Putting a pin. Don't go nowhere. Put this way. This way you should go. Okay, you're good to go.
All right. Thank you very much.
George did a great job of organizing all this stuff. It would never happen without George Smith.
And he was my partner in the hangar too. And we also owned an airplane together for 5 or 6 years. Anyway, we miss George.
We miss
Thank you.
George.
Now, I remember when instructor out in Noonan? He says, no. I said, well, who are you? Because I had no clue. You know, I was so confused. We had 4 presentations, we had the 42-day shutdown, and I'm calling him and asking, which Hayes am I doing? Francis Hayes or Richard Hayes? You know, I was so confused. And then he told me, yeah, he flew to Noonan one time and they wanted to put the fuel on his account. He said, I don't have an account here. Yeah, you do, here it is. But it was there's a flight instructor with the same name that owns a flight school there in Noonan. Okay, the next one, Michael Dean Stewart. With Sue Ann Stewart. And there is Sue Ann's letter. And I know that if he didn't have you, he'd be in deep trouble.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I am really excited about this, I have to say.
Just thank you.
It's been a real joy and a bit of a challenge.
Is that all?
Adventure.
Okay, she wants to tell us all. Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. Let me go to this first. And there's your beautiful flag. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you very much for all you said. Okay, hold that up. That's his for. Then we have the same letter from the FSDO and signed by an FAA manager with myself. And just telling thank you for all your safety. If it weren't for you, a lot of people wouldn't be flying today.
Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. See, we give this before we talk about the records, you know, and this is his official certificate from the FAA. Because once we give it to him, it's his. We can't take it away from him. And we might want to when we go through his record. Congratulations. This was easy too, and very clean. I shook it out a bunch of times. I couldn't get any dust or anything out of it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Put it back in your folder here. So get that.
Don't forget the pen.
And that's your application with all the 3 letters of letters of
Thank you.
I'm lost. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah. Well,
Good.
first of all, I want to thank Jim for coming. I want to thank George for starting this, Mike for taking the ball.
I usually have 2 other guys up here helping me, but I'm winging it.
I want to thank family and friends, Sky Dogs. And I think that's about it. I have a joke. I've been dying to tell this, and especially with the FAA here. So years ago, this was supposed to be true. So Anna always says, "Are your stories true?" And I said, "Sure."
Are you sure that happened?
So this flight crew was in the middle of a trip, and they had 2 legs to go. And second to the last leg, the FAA shows up, and he introduced himself, and they said, "We're here to help." And the captain said, "We're glad to have you." So they take off. They're at cruise. Things are pretty slow, and the FAA man, you know, was kind of bored, so he said, do you know what makes the airplane go faster? Cap said, yeah. I said, I push up the throttles and it speeds up. I pull it back and it slows down. He said, no, no, no. He said, you push the yoke forward and it speeds up. You pull back and it slows down. Cap said, okay. So he says, do you know what makes it climb? He said, yeah, I pull back on the yoke and the airplane climbs, and I push forward and it goes down. I said, no, no, you push forward on the throttle and it climbs, and you know, you pull it back and it descends. So I said, okay. So they finish the trip and get on the next leg. They taxi out, finish the before takeoff check, and Cap says to the co-pilot, he said, I'm gonna push the yoke all the way forward. When we get up to V1, you push the throttle so we can get airborne.
Brings back a little bit of memory of my first banner tow inspection I had to do. And when they got up in the air, the banner said, we're not happy unless the FAA is unhappy, or we're unhappy if the FAA is unhappy, or something like that. And the thing is, I knew these guys from when I wrote the books for Gleim, knowledge test books. And these guys have called me a lot and asked questions, but they knew I had a sense of humor. And when they landed, I was like, I can't believe you did that. You know, I'm just joking. But yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and sorry we weren't really as organized as we normally are. When I have more than one, I usually have a couple of my fast team reps to join me, but this was special. I love coming out here. I love this area and this airfield, and David and his wife. I've seen them a bunch of times, and we'll be back again. Anytime you want your club to have a presentation from the FAA, call me. My presentation's loss of control and runway incursions. Everybody knows about runway incursions. It's the leading issue right now that is just, we're waiting for it to happen. And when it happens, it's going to be a bad accident. And people are just not taking it serious enough. And of course, PDK is the main issue. And let me tell you about PDK, just not to preach, but to let you know something. They have some very good controllers at PDK. I've met all of them. I've sat down and given seminars with them on runway incursions. They're doing everything they can do to prevent this. But we, as pilots, are not joining in on us. They had 3 runway incursions in one day. All 3 of them were from flight instructors. All 3 of them were from flight instructors. What's that tell you about our flight instructors? I do a CFI analysis every year, and we do have some very poor flight instructors in this state. I have over 2,000 I have to call and find out why their pass and fail rate are below standard. And then what are we going to do? All we can do is stop them. But PDK, the towers, they know they have a problem. They even, when you repeat a clearance, they'll even tell you thank you now, just to calm you down a little bit. You know, it's the second busiest airport in the state of Georgia, right next to Hartsfield. You know, so it's busy. They're talking. But if you're on their ramp and you don't understand 100% of what they're trying to get you to do, it's your responsibility to say, "Oh, could you repeat that?" You know, there was this pilot out of Texas that used to record all his clearances. And then instead of repeating them, he would push a button and play it back to the controller. He wouldn't have to read it back. And one controller told him that I didn't understand a word you said. You said it too fast. And it was the controller. So, you know, if you don't understand them, tell them. Be professional. R-22, turbo. And I had to take it from Duluth to White Plains, New York. Never flew into New York, never will again. But,
Sorry.
I got in the pattern, I was doing 180 knots. And I noticed there were two jets getting ready to take off, airline. I said, well, I need to get on the ground and get out of their way. So the controller called me and said, Sears, on downwind, you need to slow down, it's 180 knots. You're at 180 knots. And I said, well, are you the controller? He said, of course I am. I said, then control me. How fast would you like me to go? You know, I want to get out of your way. And then the next day, another controller, you know, I'm flying this plane, another controller says, give us a call when you're on a 3-mile spaceway. Now, seriously, have everything except for the kitchen sink. You know, so I'm, okay, I make my call, and the lady controller says, well, that's not quite 3 miles, but I guess it'll do. You know, controllers have a rough time. You know, I got complained to in Savannah one time because they taxied me to the ramp, but I had to cross an active runway. Now I stopped and I said, "Can you clear me past this runway?" This was back in the early 2000s. And he said, "Well, what was the clearance?" I said, "Well, look, dude, I'm just trying to be safe here. You know, that's why I'm asking." And he said, "Okay, well, yeah, I cleared you across just because it's right." See, that's on recording. So if you challenge them a little bit, be respectful. You know, they do have a hard job, but they got a $10,000 bonus, and we didn't. Because of this touchdown. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.